Ripping this thing from the top. So the first thing, I've got 6 fatal mistakes that I see everybody making on shots. And these are not like, they didn't come up with these out of thin air. Like they're things that I just witness all day long when we go to a tournament. I see really good guys, okay? So if you make the junior national finals, okay, at NHSCAs and you're wrestling for a national championship, you go, hey, that guy's really good. But I see people at that level making some of these same mistakes. That's where we made some of these mistakes. If you don't make that mistake, I think that you could probably get to that level faster, right? We just want to get that stuff out of our DNA. The big thing is no matter how good you are, when they get to another match that's competitive, wrestling at they're equal or someone even above them, they're going to make those big mistakes. And so this is kind of where we're talking about. I'm not talking about when you're a 9 and you're wrestling a 6, that you're not going to see most of these mistakes. And even if you made them, it's not going to matter. We're talking about in matches that matter, these mistakes will be absolutely fatal. We got to get them right. So let's jump into it. So number 1 is not pre-calling your shot, okay? So when I'm out here ahead of time, let's say I'm a low single guy, okay? And this is, again, we made this mistake. In the national finals, I was warming my guy up. I was getting him ready to rock and roll. I'm like, here we go, we're ready to go. Boom, right? He's like, I'm gonna go out here and low single this MFer, right? And when I was warming him up, I remember thinking, and I was in the corner and I was like, we're kind of in the chute, getting ready to send him out. And I just remember thinking, something about that's not right, but I didn't know what it was. And we went out and got smoked by Jacob Cardenas, who's pretty dang good, okay? He's making some money right now wrestling Division I level. But we were planning on going out low singling, which was definitely our best attack, low single, low double stuff. But he just kind of shut it down because we had a great option to one leg. We had a great low single here to this side, okay? But as soon as he didn't give us the look we wanted, we couldn't low single that leg anymore, right? And so everything we were doing was trying to get to it, and it was just too far away, and we never really had a chance, right? And when you swing and miss at a leg, when you pre-call the shot, I'm choosing, right? It's a real violation of a huge rule that we have. We say, I don't choose, you choose, but when you choose, I go first. So I don't choose, you choose, but when you choose, I'm gonna go first. So when I'm out here wrestling, this guy's gonna give me a look. He's gonna create an opportunity and affordance for me, and I'm gonna attack based off the look that he's giving me. You can't say that you're gonna hit a fastball inside if you don't get a fastball inside, right? If they throw the ball off speed away in a baseball game, then it's just not there, right? So we don't want to pre-call our shot. We're gonna go out here and start attacking and moving this guy, and then we need attacks to both legs, to his upper body, all the things, and we're gonna hit the opportunity that he gives us, right? The one that he really makes easy for us. We'll take those easy scores. Don't make it harder than it has to be. So don't pre-call your shot. Get out there and put this guy in the system, and let's get him rolling through it. 2 is gonna be not matching our hands and feet. Anytime I'm wrestling, if I'm getting ready to attack this guy's leg, all right, and here, let's say if I'm inside step, outside reach, here, okay, look how short my arm is, I'm nowhere near his leg, versus if my right hand goes without even turning my shoulders, look how much longer my arm is, okay? Just by matching hands and feet. Now, I don't really love inside step, inside reach because the center of the position is actually gonna be behind me. So we're big believers in outside stepping because the center of the position is always gonna be in front of me. This is gonna save you so much life. 5-6 years ago when we started teaching this, we sounded like crazy people. Now everybody's kind of on-ramped with the idea that an outside step is really good. Even if they don't understand why, they understand that it does work. So hopefully I don't have to prime you to that. But I'm gonna go outside step, and I want same hand, same foot, same side reaching here, okay? If I wanna attack the left side of the body, I wanna use my left foot, left hand to go get it because it's gonna be a lot longer. Even if I went, let's say meat hooks here, grab my elbow. Here, if I went outside step, inside reach here, even if I get to his leg, my body is out of position. My spine's twisted and I'm off balance here, and I'm in a really weak position. Versus if I get same hand, same foot to it, I'm structurally in a really good position here. I'm really stout here because I've got good body structure, good body positioning, and I can drive on through into my score. If I'm moving him here, if I go same hand, same foot, and I get a little extended, I'm able to hit my knee and run on through this thing, coming up to score. So match my hands and feet because it's gonna always make my arms longer, right? It's gonna create elusive speed because of the feeling that I have longer arms here. The difference in this is I miss the leg versus here, boom, I'm able to catch it. So matching your hands and feet, game changer, gotta get it in there. Number 3 is letting your chest float. Letting your chest float. So when I go to hit my shot, here, boom, and I hit. Right now my chest is floating in space. It's disconnected, okay? So I wanna be chasing a chest connection on everything that I do. If I get chest connected to his body here, it's gonna be easy to score. Whether I'm on high crotch, double leg, or single leg, chest connection is gonna solve all these problems. If I'm hitting a duck under and I roll through the hole here, if my chest is floating, it's easier for this guy to get off the line here and get his arm back down. So let's say I go to hit a big duck under, I'm gonna go slow. When I get to here, it feels like I've got him beat, but if we play at the same speed here, ready, Russell, he's gonna get his elbow back down and score. Versus if I roll through, boom, and I get chest connected, now when he tries to face me, nothing happens. I can reattack through and find the knee here and finish on his body, boom, to the mat. Or if he goes to turn away, into his spine and ready to wrestle. Okay, so chest connection. I don't want my chest floating. Whether I'm on high crotch, double, single, as soon as I start to get extended, my chest is gonna be floating. I've got to reconnect, boom here, and now I'm ready to rock and roll. Up, scoring. Chest connection is huge, and you're gonna be looking for that chest connection, not just from neutral, but in all positions. Game changer, gotta get it. Fatal mistake, number 4, is gonna be chin up. So when I get in here on a shot here, okay, everybody says head up. Right now, my head is the highest point on my body, okay? It's the highest point, but my chin is not up. The difference in me being chin down and chin up here is absolutely huge. Here, if this guy starts to sprawl on me or do anything, like I've got his chest propped up because I'm chin up. It's active here, right? I'm using my eyebrow to drive up into the center here. I'm not using my ear. I'm actually literally trying to get my face into him here because my neck's gonna be a lot stronger as I do. If I've got this kind of neutral chin, right, where my head is still up, everybody's coach's cue, head up, head up, head up. My head is up. It's still pretty up, but I've got what I would say is a neutral chin. It's not chin tucked, it's just kind of neutral. The same way that when you're walking around, your chin's naturally pointed down. So I'm in this neutral spine, but it's easy for this guy to get my head down. He can collapse my head easy, and he's able to beat me, reestablishing a chest connection himself. Go ahead, sprawl. Yeah, boom, and I'm gonna get beat, okay? Start giving up inside ear position, all kinds of issues. So I've gotta be chin up on my shot, whether it's single leg, whether it's double leg, boom. Here I'm chest connected, chin up. And now my head is propping up his chest here so he can't come collapsing down and establishing a defensive chest connection. Up and through this guy, ready to score. Chin up on your shot is everything. I even see guys, if I'm getting ready to hit a duck under, they want to duck their chin to get in, but when I get here, this guy's able to collapse down over the back of my head on the way in, versus if I hit this thing and I'm chin up the whole time, when I get there, he's stuck in the pocket. I can redrive through and score. So there's micro mechanics on chin down is huge. People they're wrestling, they'll duck and put their head down to fire this shot off, and there's just literally no chance. My back is gonna, when he gets his head down, my back is just gonna go skiing down underneath him, and I'm giving him a chest connection the whole way. So I level change here and I start going, I'm head down. There's literally no chance of me scoring here, okay? The problem in developmental wrestling is when you get there, you actually do score sometimes because the other guy's like also super bad, right? So you negatively, I'll say you positively reinforce a negative habit. So I start to program that this is good and it works. It's a possible movement solution, right? It's a good way to make the move work, but it's only because the guy I'm wrestling is really bad, right? So I'm reinforcing a negative habit, a bad habit, and I don't want that. So we got to make sure we're chin up the whole time, whatever it is. Boom, chin up into it here. Now I've got a lot of life. I've got the same thing on like low singles, a level change in on my shot. Boom, I'm chin up, eyebrow in here, okay? Giving me a lot of life in this position by getting this detail right. So easy to get wrong, so easy to ignore, so easy to overlook as a coach or an athlete. But the difference in chin down, chin neutral, and chin up are, I mean, yeah, they're worlds apart. Got to get it. Okay, next, using our dominant shoulder. I like to talk about dominant shoulder like you're using a baseball glove, because in baseball, if you're right-handed, you get really good at using that left glove. You got your big leather glove on, there's a nice little pocket, and it becomes an extension of your hand. And you really develop a nuance and some familiarity with that thing. when we're talking about child development, right, or just human development period, we learn how to use our hands really well. The next thing we learn how to use a little bit is like our feet. In wrestling, we talk about using our head some. People still don't do a great job of it. But one thing that gets developed passively is this dominant shoulder. So if I'm right-handed and I shoot a high crotch, my right shoulder is into this guy. If I'm on a double leg, my right shoulder is into this guy. If I shoot my single leg, my right shoulder is into this guy, right? And this feels more comfortable because I develop some sensitivity, some awareness when my shoulder is in the pocket and when it slips. So if I'm on a single leg here on him, right, or even a high crotch, let's say a high crotch, okay? This is not necessarily a favorable position because I'm facing away from the center. I'm not facing my opponent. I'm facing away from him here. I don't have a great angle. If I start to cut the corner, it becomes favorable a little faster, but you don't get there quite so easy, right? If the guy's good, you're not gonna just land there. So, but I've got my dominant shoulder in, so I have some life where it doesn't slip out. If my shoulder slips, I'm gonna lose this position every single time, okay? Or if I put him into crack down, drop down. Right shoulder is dominant shoulder, it's inside. Here, okay, I've gotta really do a great job getting my shoulder in the pocket here and making sure that I've got everything where I want it. If it slips outside, here, this position's over, okay? The winning and losing that position is not super high level, okay? But coaching that position intelligently or developing that position intelligently is really high level, right? And so that's kind of where the nuance is. I want to help athletes understand that when I'm developing, I don't want to learn how to be a switch hitter in baseball. You don't want to learn how to hit from the right side and the left side of the plate. You want to get really good at hitting on one side of the plate. If you play baseball, you don't want to learn how to field the ball with a glove on your left hand or on your right hand. You want to be really great with your glove on one side, okay? The same way, when I get in on my shot, dominant shoulder, I want to develop offense around my shoulder, this tool, this chess piece that I have some skill developed with. I have some understanding, some sensitivity of pressure and positioning and everything else without really thinking about it. That same type of awareness you have in your hands, you've got to develop that in your shoulder. And so that's what I'm looking for. If I was on a lefty high crotch here, wrestling Cody, okay, like I could lefty high crotch a high school kid, maybe even a pretty decent one. But a guy that's as good as me or better, I never want to be on this lefty high crotch on because my left shoulder is it's so unfavorable. It's such an inferior tool compared to my right one, okay? You're also going to feel this in positions like in your over-unders, okay? If you're right-handed, this over-under is going to feel way better than this one because I don't have a good understanding of where my shoulder is or how to adjust it in the pocket, right? So it starts out as a low-level idea, talking about dominant shoulder, but it becomes world-class instruction really quickly by understanding how it applies in other positions. It applies to top and bottom and everywhere else. So dominant shoulder is a massive idea. Got to get it right, train it intentionally. The next thing here is we're talking about expecting an easy finish. This is a big thing that I see athletes, they really go through this problem when they start jumping from youth to middle school to high school to college, right? Even college to like senior level stuff. Anytime you're jumping to the new level of competition, athletes really always struggle with the same thing. So in high school, I get on this guy's leg. Boom, if I get on his leg here, even if I'm on a high crotch, again, not the best controlling position, but I'm gonna do a knee slide, stay connected, come up through and score on this guy. Maybe it gives me a little trouble, but I'm gonna score. If I get on single leg and he starts wrestling, like, boom, I'm just gonna run the corner, start cutting the angle here, shelving everything up, run through and score. Well, when you get to that next level, the level above you, finishing on this guy's not so easy, right? So we always say when you grab a tiger by the tail, you don't have the tiger yet, the tiger has you. When you grab a tiger by the tail, that tiger will turn around and maul your arms off. When I wrestle a guy that's good and I get in here on his leg, like this isn't where, like you haven't won the battle and you took your shot, you got to the leg. In high school, a lot of times, like you've kind of won when you get here, right? Especially if let's say you're a 9 or a 10 and the guy you're wrestling is a 7 or an 8, like you're gonna score here, okay? But when I'm a 9, he's a 9, now this is a battle. Or I'm a 9 and he's a 10. When I get here, I've just began the battle. It's like a rodeo. They open the gates and now you get a chance to be a cowboy here, right? I get on this guy's leg here. This is where the fight happens. So now we're gonna start wrestling, ready, go. Boom, here, he's changing my head and boom, I can't be looking for like an easy way out, a big limp arm and trying to win. As a defensive tactic, he's looking for me to discourage me in this position.
He doesn't have to beat me. He's just got to discourage me, right? And so we're just trying to wrestle here and be tough and work hard, constantly fighting for good positioning. Boom, digging, and then eventually you find your way up. When you know, one of us becomes impatient and starts making some rushed decisions, that's where the scoring opportunity happens. And so we always say, don't expect an easy finish. Huge fatal mistake is expecting that you're going to finish. When I'm wrestling to the next level, I'm planning on getting to Cody's leg, and I'm ready. I'm getting here, boom, knowing that that's when the gun goes off for the race to begin. Now we're wrestling. Here, nothing's happening. All of a sudden I get to his leg, boom, match just happened, right? We're standing around here dancing, nothing really happened in a fight. One of us tags the other one in the face. Now we're fighting. And so don't expect the easy finish. Come ready to fight. And you got to learn to love that fight. I love what Pinnacle guys, Jerry Lawrence and Paulson say, love the fight. Learn to love the fight in there, okay? Fatal mistake, number 6, don't expect an easy finish. You could get a black belt in each one of these ideas. Takes time though. If you think you understand it, or you think you got it, you think you know it, that's the number one sign that you don't. Like there's just so much more to learn about it. You're like, oh yeah, I already understand that. Like, no dude, slow down and walk through that idea some more, because there's a whole lot more to be explored with it. Been doing it a long time, and there's so much to learn about each one of them. You have to really lean into it, but we want people to have access to the truth. We want you to get the best information. We want you to understand these things so that if you understand each one of these ideas, you can name and tame them, you can train them intentionally, deliberately, and you can really make progress, right? Which is the number one thing we want to happen is you just got to understand that there's more to learn, there's a way to learn it, there's a way to train it, right? And so you don't have to go out there hoping you're gonna win. You don't have to, be so discouraged when you don't have success or think there's something wrong with you or you're broken. Through having understanding and a way to train and learn and develop these ideas, these different principles, you can name and tame, become more competent, ultimately more successful. But it starts with identifying the problem. Give it a name, lean into it, try to understand it, and see where all it applies to your game.